Ashley from the San Diego Organizing Project and a constituent of District 8 should have to live in fear because of their race, religion, ethnicity, or immigration background. It's heartbreaking to hear what my brothers and sisters are going through. San Diego Council, please stand in solidarity with the community. People deserve to be treated with dignity and feel safe. Council members, today you have an opportunity to take a clear stand against harassment, intimidation, and discrimination targeting the Somali community in San Diego. I ask you to please vote in favor of this resolution. Thank you.
Petros.
Hello, Council members. My name is Petros Hagos. I grew up in City Heights, my Somali brothers. I'm here with City Heights CDC, and I would like to say that we are in support of this resolution, and we stand with the Somali community members who have experienced harassment, discriminations, and targeting. Every resident deserves to feel safe, respected, and welcome, regardless of their ethnicity, nationality, religion, or background. The Somali community is part of City Heights, and they're part of every community in America. And I know this because I grew up with my brothers to see them experience this, my brothers and sisters, to see them experience affect everybody. This resolution sends an important message that San Diego values inclusion, dignity, and belonging for our community, and it reaffirms our commitment to ensuring the Somali residents know they are seen, supported, and an essential part of our community. Thank you for your support.
Salio Usman.
Good afternoon. My name is Salio Usman. I'm working at District 9. Today I'm coming over here to support this resolution. I'm here today to support the resolution because every San Diego deserves to feel safe, respected, valued in the community. No family should have to live in fear because of the race, religion, ethnicity, or immigration background. San Diego must take clear stand against harassment targeting the Somali community. For example, in May 2018, Islamic Center of San Diego, all of us know what happens, still we are healing. All our children who go to that Islamic Center, still they are in trauma. So we need to support this resolution to save for our children, for our families, and we need to go forward to inclusively help each other. Thank you.
Denora Reyna. Please come to the microphone. As you make your way up, I'd like to note for the record that we did have 4 speakers in favor that did not wish to speak, and 1 comment in favor that was submitted via our web comment form, which has been distributed to the council. Please proceed.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Dinora Reyna, Executive Director with the San Diego Organizing Project. We're a network of congregations across the county, and I'm also a resident of District 8. I live in Nestor. And we're here, SDOP is here in support and in partnership with PANA and other organizations in San Diego, serving Somali and Muslim community members. With PANA, we've spent the last 10 months exploring the question about how to protect and be able to serve impacted community members from the deportation machine and the lawlessness of ICE and other federal agencies. So, and in our work, and our communities of faith believe that every single human being is made in the image of God. And we believe that the families, the caregivers, and the Somali community in this moment is a community that is not being seen that way and is not being respected and protected. I'm here in support of this resolution. Believe you all should. I think it's a low and small ask. I think the expectation of elected officials should be greater.
Thank you. That concluding sentence. Shalem Abudi Lopez.
Shalem Abudi Lopez, community member in District 3. I'm here to support my Somali. I say to my neighbors, you are more than welcome. You are San Diegans. And I'm here in deep support of this resolution. Beyond just saying we do not accept the hate that is being thrown at us from every angle, from the highest to those that are online. We need to do something to protect our children. Should feel just as safe as any other child living in any other community. Every parent should feel just as safe as I did just right now as I picked up my kid from childcare. Everyone deserves that same level of safety and dignity. Vote yes today.
Thank you. That does conclude our speakers here in person, and we will now go to those participating remotely. I'll start the 5-minute timer. We have 15 speakers in the queue. Starting with Min Mai, you'll have 1 minute. Please proceed.
Hello, my name is Min Mai. Good afternoon, everyone. I am also the board chair of Good Voices, a local grassroots nonprofit based here in City Heights, District 9, San Diego. Well, our grassroots organization, Good Voices, is dedicated to the development and empowerment of the Vietnamese community in San Diego. We stand in solidarity with our Somali neighbors. Everyone deserves a place where they feel safe and welcome, and we support this resolution as part of the Somali community. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Naomi. If you can please unmute.
My name is Naomi Gemmel. I'm a senior staff attorney at the Child Care Law Center. The Child Care Law Center is a statewide legal support center. We are here today in support of this resolution because San Diego must take a clear stand against harassment and discrimination targeting Somali families and child care providers. Family child care providers should be able to work, and children should be able to learn in safe environments free from stalking and harassment. We support this effort to stand with the Somali community against hate, racism, discrimination, and harassment. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Ellen. Ellen, if you can please unmute.
Hi, my name is Ellen Freitas. I live in District 2. I want to speak in favor of this resolution. I believe it is important to speak up against hate, othering, and profiling. These attitudes lead to violence, as we saw in the recent fatal attack on the local Islamic center. I am not Somali, I am not Muslim, but this affects all of us. In my old neighborhood in South Park, when there was safe, when myself and my white-skinned immigrant husband were passed over by masked, armed ICE agents parked outside our door because they spotted someone down there. Violence and hate is not the answer. The Somali community, unfortunately, is experiencing this culture disproportionately due to their rich culture, the color of their skin, and their rich religious traditions, and I stand against that hate, as we all should. We need to speak up, and passing this resolution is a part of that. Thank you.
Next is Tess. If you can please unmute. Tess. Tess, I can't unmute for you. I'll go on to our next caller. Via Voices, if you can please unmute. Via Voices, if you can please unmute. We'll move on to our next caller. Crypto Bradley, if you can please unmute.
All right, thanks for taking my call. I would like to add another motion to denouncing the guys in Israel killing all the Muslims in the Gaza Strip. That would be something we could add to the thing, because I'm not for guys living in fear, but even the Somalis in San Diego don't have it as bad as if they're in Lebanon right now, and the Israelis are bombing them. But anyway, I am also I'm for the mass rapid deportation of all non-citizens in the United States. Wherever country you came from, it's time to go back, because Trump's winning the war, and he's going to come back with a heavy on ICE. It's going to really hit us hard in San Diego. And it's great. It'll be a rapid deportation. Everyone will have to go home, and they can get their lives back in their own country, and live happily ever after, not here, but in their own country.
Your time has concluded. Tristan Berry, if you can please unmute. Tristan Berry.
Hello, Council. My name is Tristan Beery, and I'm the youth organizer with Youth Will. I'm here today in support of this resolution because every San Diegan deserves to feel safe, respected, and valued in their community. No family should have to live in fear because of their race, religion, ethnicity, or immigration background. San Diegans take a clear stand against harassment, intimidation, and discrimination targeting the Somali community. Under this current administration, we have seen the adoption of dangerous rhetoric used to attack Somali Americans, Muslims, immigrants, and we as a city cannot allow those in power to spread fear, suspicions, and false narratives for political gain. Impacts that these kind of words can have. We saw this on May 18th when 2 individuals carried out a direct attack on our Muslim community that left 3 lives taken from us, 3 lives that had an impact much beyond their own because of how much they poured themselves into their community. We as a city need to adopt language that acknowledges the contributions of our Somali community. We need to promise to protect them, and we need to acknowledge that people are targeting their community, and we were refusing to be a part of that. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Youth. Youth Will, if you can please unmute.
Good afternoon. My name is Claire Snyder. With Youth Will, I'm a resident of District 3. I am here in support of this item and this resolution. All young people, all children deserve to feel safe, be able to learn and grow in environments that are free from harassment, stalking, and hateful speech. And this anti-Muslim bigotry didn't come from anywhere. It's fueled by our political climate, political leaders, and it should not be tolerated at all. Like many others have said, I encourage you to not only support this item, but also take action and stand on your words. When you say you support communities, we see when you say something and then you don't do it. So I encourage you all to take action as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Blair Beekman, if you can please unmute. 5-minute timer has also concluded. No additional speakers will be taken after this. We have 10 speakers in the queue. Blair Beekman, please proceed.
Hi, Blair Beekman. I'm on the Charlie. Hopefully my Zoom won't cut out. Thanks a lot for this item. Thank you for these efforts. I think this is an item that really can resonate in San Diego, and I think we can all understand and work towards ending this sort of dialogue of hatred in our local communities. So thank you immensely for it. With that said, I'm sorry if I'm going to sound like Mother Hubbard here, but there is an initial cause and purpose of why the Trump administration has been angry, at certain groups of people in this country who he feels are getting away with murder on welfare, basically. You can have an argument on the merits of that or not, but he wants to work out a better system. Why is that in its place, bringing in so much hatred and spite towards other people? And that's the real problem with Trump and their way of working. They may have 1 or 2 all of that. That's not the way to define policy or bureaucracy.
Has concluded. Liliana, if you can please unmute. Liliana, I can't unmute. There you go.
Hello. Hi, Council. Today, my name is Viviana. I'm here with Youth Will. I'm the Director of Policy there, and I was also born and raised in City Heights. I have a Somali community. The people that I grew up with, and as a young person growing up in that community, today I want to support that resolution because they are important and a pillar of what actually being exposed to different cultures is like, and they also deserve to feel safe, feel respected and valued. And through this resolution, that's also need to take care of our youngest San Diegans, because there was a lot of child care facilities owned by Somali families were being stopped. So I just urge you to support this item because of those reasons. Thank you.
Thank you. It's your time. Carmen Penalosa.
Yes, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, please proceed.
Okay. My name is Carmen, I live in District 9, I'm also here with YouthWell. I'm here today in support of this resolution because every San Diegan deserves to feel safe, respected, and valued in their community. San Diego must take a clear stand against harassment, intimidation, and discrimination targeting the Somali community. I'm deeply concerned by the dangerous rhetoric used by political leaders and public figures, including the President, of course, and members of Congress, to scapegoat and demonize Somali Americans, Muslims, immigrants, and other marginalized communities. These individuals with positions of power are purposefully spreading fear, suspicion, and false narratives for political gain, which in turn leads to consequences much beyond political debate. We've seen this most recently, May 18th, 3 members of our community were murdered.
Karina Pugh, pronouns are she, her, and on behalf of the San Diego LGBT Community Center. It has no place in San Diego. Our Somali neighbors are integral to the rich, diverse fabric of our San Diego community, and each and every one of them deserves to be safe, respected, and welcome. As a community center that serves a diverse base of San Diegans, and including our immigrants, we know all too well the feeling of discrimination and the constant fear for your safety when national leaders spew harmful rhetoric about your community. Our communities are under attack both through this false and dangerous rhetoric, as well as through discriminatory policies that enact direct harm upon our communities. We reject this hate, and we know that our strength is in unity. We will not allow this hate to divide our communities because we know that we are stronger and more. To our Somali and immigrant neighbors, the center's doors will always be open to you. We respect you, and you will always have a place here in San Diego. Thank you, Councilmember Elo Rivera, for bringing forth this resolution, and to our other council members and chambers, please support this item. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Courtney. If you can please unmute.
Good afternoon, honorable council members. My name is Courtney.
My apologies, Courtney. We will restart your time. Every once in a while, I press the wrong button. Please proceed.
No problem. Good afternoon, honorable council members. My name is Courtney Baltiski, calling today with Children First Collective San Diego. We stand in solidarity with people who make up our child care sector on behalf of children, families, and providers. We'll continue to fight for a system that works for all. And today that's especially important with this resolution, which we support and encourage all councils to vote unanimous on it. As an aspiring ally, it's an honor to be welcomed into the Somali community, whether that's with family child care providers or with partner organizations. The warm welcome, the incredible culture. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next is Dr. Kathleen. If you can please unmute. iPhone 143. Dr. Kathleen.
Opportunity. My name is Dr. Kathleen. I'm 5 years old, and I never thought that I would live to see this. I'm begging the council to pass this resolution.
Thank you for your comments, Francine Maxwell.
Yes, sorry.
Good afternoon, Francine Maxwell, Southeastern San Diego resident. Thank you so much for the presentation and full support. I am hoping that after the resolution passes, that the plans will be made with the president of the United States Conference of Mayors, our mayor, who has themed a city for all of us. Hate has no place, absolutely. So if everyone in the room could go over to the mayor's representative and ask him to reactivate the mayor's advisory groups. We learned a lot from the communities so that we can get a front of things that are going to happen. We are living in treacherous times right now, and conversation is needed on all fronts. So in full support of the resolution, the next steps are what's important so that things do not continue looking performative in our city. And that would entail that the mayor pull things off the shelf, implement more conversations citywide so that we can all get to learn each other and continue to move in love. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Thank you. Next is 8813. If you can please unmute 8813.
Okay, we don't need the mayor to do that. We can do it ourselves. But anyway, okay, we're Sloan here and asking the state council to pass a resolution to protect community. But the reality is that this council does not stand for truth or protection. It stands for political self-interest and public image and rhetoric where government positions itself as the protector and savior while continues to decline. Many people still believe and trust the government is here to protect them, but trust is built through transparency, accountability, and equal treatment for everyone. That's something that this board does not practice. And reminder to the people listening, responsibility for real solutions does not rest with government. It rests with the people, with communities, coming together directly, honestly, without political manipulation. Sean.
Your time has concluded. John Stump, if you can please unmute.
Hi, good afternoon. The speakers have called for action, and I hope during the council's consideration of this item that they call before them the criminal division of the city attorney and the police department to ask them whether they have sufficient authority and resources to identify and prosecute these hateful people. Is it a crime in San Diego, the city of San Diego, to do these acts? How many people have been successfully prosecuted and jailed for these hateful acts? Take action. Thank you for the talk. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Our last speaker is Ismahan Abdullahi. Please unmute.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to in transit. I want to just a recognition of this beautiful community. It is an acknowledgement of the story of resilience, sacrifice, and belonging that the Somali community brings, and that hate has no place in our city. This resolution sends a very important message to this community, to the city of San Diego, and to the youth who are listening and watching the way that we respond when hate rises. It tells our Somali community and the youth that they are seen, that they belong, that their story is part of the story of this city. And at a time when too many communities are facing division, fear, and misunderstanding, this resolution is going to recognize the contribution of our Somali community and help build a more stronger, more united front and future for all of us. So I want to thank the council for considering this resolution, and I look forward to folks voting for it. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes public comment for this item.
All right, thank you, City Clerk, and thank you, those your lived experience, and thank you to the friends and neighbors and organizations that join in solidarity to speak with one voice on something that is so critical about defining who we are as a city, and I appreciate those who take the time to call in remotely. With that, I will turn it over to my colleagues. Councilmember Pio Rivera.
Thank you, Council President. Let me begin by thanking some of our partners who helped today. Kathy, thank you for your work on this from the City Attorney's Office. We very much appreciate you. Hamira, Rama with the Partnership for the Advancement of New Americans. Thank you for your work. Lucky. I think I wanted to start with what I know about the Somali community, and I think we actually see a lot of it in you two. Smart, courageous, strong, kind, family-focused, and community-oriented. The resolution is a product of your hard work. Very well done. And also, I want to emphasize the courageous piece of that, because it takes a lot for you to sit in those seats and provide the presentation that you provided. I've had the privilege of working with the Somali community since the beginning of my time working in City Heights. And time and again, I've seen those traits that I just mentioned. And one of the best things about working in and with representing District 9 has been the opportunity to stand arm in arm with communities from all over the world. And some of those folks are from cultures I've been part of or opposed to, and others that I've come to know and love. And in this work, I get to see and appreciate some of the common threads that knit people of all backgrounds into what I think is a really beautiful tapestry here in San Diego. And those are love and care for all of our children, the energizing optimism and imagination of youth, and the unrivaled power of motivated moms and grandmothers. Values that I see clearly in San Diego Somali community. I've seen the community improve the way our children are fed at school. Youth lead other young people in creating a vision for a better future, and workers lead and win campaigns that expand rights and opportunities for all workers. Over many years, working alongside folks evolved into trusted partnerships, which evolved into close dependable and irreplaceable coworkers. At the same time, despite their strength and resolve from his failures, his lies, and his corruption, by scapegoating vulnerable groups with no regard for the harm it causes. And of course, others from his regime and those who ride the coattails of his hate have joined his chorus. It's disgusting, it's dangerous, and it absolutely cannot be allowed to fester. The reasons why are numerous and should be obvious, but I want to point to the one that is maybe the most angry and scared about the moment that we were in. And that's the stalking and harassment of child care providers, the people who care for our babies. Dehumanization is the worst form of hate. It opens the door to what is otherwise unimaginable. When we make one group of people no longer people, the absolute worst things happen. I think the most stark and frightening example of when a community is being dehumanized comes when the children from that community are seen as acceptable targets or collateral targets of hate, violence, or cruelty. We heard about that happening here in San Diego, of the homes and were being taken care of, had doors knocked on, and men posted up outside demanding to see the children. This is something that no child, no parent, no child care provider should have to deal with. And it's really important that we make that clear. So to the Somali community, I want to say thank you for all you've done and continue to do. I could not be more proud to be in community with you and call so many of you friends. I love you, and our city should show you love through action. Earlier this year, when Somali child care providers were targeted, I did work with the mayor in ensuring that actions were taken to both protect child care facilities and ensure that our child care providers know their rights and their ability to enforce the law when they're being targeted with harassment and intimidation. And this resolution is another important step. So I ask my colleagues to support this motion as a first act of love from our city to a community that consistently shows and acts of love. With that, I move approval of the recommendation. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Council Member. So we have a motion by Council Member Elo Rivera to move the resolution. We'll go next to Council President Pro Tem.
Thank you, Council President. And first off, thank you to Councilmember Elo Rivera and his staff for bringing this resolution forward in partnership with PANA and the Somali community. Someone said it in the audience earlier, words do matter, and they also have consequences. That seeks to divide communities. They help to reinforce harmful stereotypes, and they create conditions that have allowed hate, discrimination, racism, and xenophobia to not only exist, because let's face it, I think we all know that it's always existed, but to spread, and now to do so in the open. As many of you have shared, this rhetoric and the policies that have followed escalated to an environment where outside social media personalities have come to our city to target, to follow, and to harass Somali immigrant childcare providers in their places of work. And I especially wanted to test. It is the testing that our federal administration and those, and then including some San Diegans, have specifically targeted childcare providers. I think many of us recognize that childcare is extremely challenging, especially post-COVID. We've had many stories of childcare providers closing. Many of us in the community recognize how expensive childcare has become. And that challenge doesn't even begin to speak to the challenge that's faced by those who are actually providing that care in our communities. So I want to thank many of you who are here today, especially those of you with United Domestic Workers who represent our childcare workers. Because of the few that remain, that work is ever more important to ensure that a community can thrive. Our schools, childcare, and I think it's fair to say that the horrific attack that the Islamic Center of San Diego faced is a recent reminder of the worst dangers of the rhetoric that is brought before our city and our nation. And that we must come together when it comes to protecting our neighbors, safe, valued, and included. So I think today, why this resolution is important is because it's our chance to recognize that our matters, and they have significance in allowing the city of San Diego to be heard. In doing so, care providers and our child care workers, we denounce hate, racism, and xenophobia. The neighbors who call San Diego home. We also recognize that the Somali community has made significant cultural, civic, and economic contributions that we believe strengthen San Diego. And we celebrate the fact that many immigrants and refugees are an integral part of the city. Those are our words, and I hope that they matter as well. So thank you again to Councilmember Elo Rivera for bringing this forward, not just to PANA and the Somali community, but clearly to many of the partner organizations who came out today in solidarity and to speak in one collective voice. And with that, I am proud to second the motion.
All right, thank you. So we have a motion by Councilmember Elo Rivera and a second by Council President Pro Tem Lee. We will go next to Councilmember Whitburn.
Thank you, Council President. Thank you, Councilmember Elo Rivera, to you and your team for bringing forward this resolution. Thank you to both of you for the presentation. It is very important that the city publicly push back on the hateful rhetoric that has been targeting many of our residents. The attacks and harassment on Somali child care providers or the Somali community in general, or the Black community in general, is completely unacceptable. The thousands of San Diegans who are members of the Somali community should not have to live in fear. Several speakers this afternoon asked not just for words, but also for action. The fourth proposed action that Councilmember Elo Rivera includes in this resolution is a request from the council that the city work with child care providers to increase security measures to protect them and the children in their care. And I would ask the city to make a concerted effort to work with child care facilities of our city is to protect the public safety, and that includes the Somali community. We also need to counteract these racist the significant contributions of the Somali community in San Diego. The contributions are innumerable across many sectors, child care being one of them. Thank goodness for at-home child care providers. Child care is one of the greatest needs in our city. Thank goodness for UDW and Child Care Providers United. They make it possible for many people, including members of the Somali community, to provide high-quality child care. Speaking for the 150,000 residents in my district, we are grateful for that. I will also highlight that here in District 3, as is mentioned in the resolution, the House of Somalia was accepted as the first African country to join the House of Pacific Relations in Balboa Park. That is a point of pride for my district and for our city, and that recognition is well deserved. So even as others sow the seeds of prejudice, I am pleased that our city embraces the many ethnic communities in our Somali community, and I'll be supporting the item today. Thank you, Council President.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Whitmer. We'll go next to Councilmember Campier.
Thank you, Council President. I want to thank members of the public who come in today to share their words in support of the resolution, and thank the District 9 office and Councilmember Elo Rivera for authoring it. Would like to recognize what a good job UDW has done in organizing and protecting and advocating for the needs of their members, whether they're Somali or not, but of course standing up for the Somali community. Also see in the crowd today our good friend, the Honorable Delfina Gonzalez from the Otay Water District, so it's good to see her as well. I think having worked on childcare issues and with UDW on issues related to childcare, in-home childcare, the City Council supported a law back in 2023 that's saying about this is it's intentionally focusing on a group of people who are immigrants, mostly immigrants, who are taking care of our children because they know and they're trying to besmirch the work you do. And everything I've ever seen from the child care providers, UDW, or any of the other groups that do this in-home care is excellent work. Rave about how good you are at the work you do, how their children develop, how they learn to read, how they have good social skills. You're one of the best we have as a community in providing this service. And you make it less expensive for everybody, which is like the incredibly stupid part of the attack on your community. Many of us have children up here who, and we know the cost of childcare right now. And I just have to say that in terms of the contributions that Councilmember Whitmer so rightfully pointed out, raising our children is the most important you could provide, and you do it well, and you do it at less expensive than many other places. And so I wish every San Diegan and American could see what I've seen in my district and around the city, that you're supporting economic development, childhood development, all the things we beg members of the public to help us with. You do it. You do it. So thank you very much for this, for your service to our community, for your union, for standing up for you, and for working within your union as well. And I'm proud to support this resolution because the contribution you make is improving our society. Absolutely improving. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilmember Campillo. We'll go next to Councilmember Von Wolford.
Thank you, and thank you, Councilmember Elo Rivera, for bringing forth the resolution today. I am very proud to support our resolution affirming our city's commitment to San Diego's Somali community. And thank you for being here very much. Our Somali neighbors are an important part of the fabric of San Diego. You contribute to our economy. You families here, help others raise their families as they're struggling to access childcare, and you do it so well. You're very good at your jobs, and we appreciate the work you do. You operate businesses, you strengthen our civic life. Your success is our city's success. At a time when immigrant and refugee communities understandably face fear, discrimination, and uncertainty, it is important that we make clear here today, San Diego is a welcoming city, and we welcome our Somali community into our city. Every resident deserves to live with safety, dignity, pursue opportunity, and participate fully in our community and our life here, regardless of your national origin or immigration status, or where you come from, or who you love, who you ascribe to. All of us deserve dignity and respect in our communities. We also stand firmly against harmful rhetoric and actions that seek to divide us. Words can turn into hateful violence like we saw at our Islamic Center here in San Diego when 3 people tragically lost their lives, saving the lives of hundreds of children. And finally, this resolution recognizes the importance of protecting our Somali-owned child care providers from harassment and intimidation. You have faced unthinkable harassment. And I actually have a question for our police department who's here, and I'm glad we have the multicultural storefront up and running, but I do have a question. If someone from our police department can come answer it. One of the things we have to stop is people making money on social media. It is horrendous. And people do have a First Amendment right to freedom of expression in this country. I hope we can stop hate, but they do not have a right to make money. So how can we tell the YouTubes and the Metas and the Googles and the Alphabets of the world to take down these accounts so they can't make money?
I think it's kind of pressure. It's putting pressure on these folks. Clearly, it's at a time of year where we looked into it from the city side as far as the PD. We've had upwards of over a dozen complaints of harassment from both internet as well as through the organizations. Officers, we documented all of them and sent them up to the city attorney's office.
Well, let us know how we can help. I'm happy to send this resolution to all of the tech companies, which are based in California, which need to learn what they're doing is wrong. So I just think it's horrible and people should not be able to make money out of it. But thank you, and I'm happy to help sign on to any effort we can. I want to thank UDW for being here today and for being union proud. We need more labor protections in this country to stop people from harassing others on the job. And thank you to Ms. Hartman for being here too. And even at 90, 94, 95 years young, you're still out advocating. So I appreciate you, Ms. Hartman, for being here. It is terribly scary when the President of the United States has made hateful, horrible, and just plain ignorant statements about our Somali community. But it's not just the White House. And that's what's getting scarier and scarier. Hateful rhetoric against our Muslim community is growing in national politics, and it should scare all of us. But we have our U.S. representatives in Congress, such as Brandon Gill in Texas, Senator Tommy Tuberville in Alabama, Representative Randy Klein in Florida, and Andy Olgis in Tennessee, who have all faced horrible backlash for their horrible anti-Muslim posts. Comments. We must reject their hate. There is no place for Islamophobic comments in our United States government. What worries me even more is the trend we're seeing in national politics is changing. Speaker Johnson and his leadership have shown no interest in reprimanding any of these members of Congress for their hate. None. And this is a change. But Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy here in California and his leader man named Representative Stephen King in Iowa off of all of his congressional committees after he questioned publicly whether white supremacy should come back to this country. He faced consequences then. They are not facing consequences now, and it is deeply scary. But here in San Diego, we're going to push back. And today, on behalf of the council, thank you again to Councilor Shani Lovera. Thank you so much for everyone who presented and all of our work you put into this. We stand with our Somali community. We value you, we see you, and I'm proud to support this resolution.
We'll go next to Councilmember Kim.
Thank you so much. I want to say that I'm in complete agreement with all of the words that my colleagues have said. Welcome to America. That's what all Americans should be saying. Welcome, and we're glad you came. And we want you to know that we believe everyone is created equal. And we have had a hard time in this country, if you look at our 250-year history, and living up to our promise. And I want you to know that we in San Diego will live up to our promise. We will stand up with you. We will fight with you. We believe in you. We are your neighbors, your friends, your brothers, your sisters. We are all one people. And we believe that, and we live it. And as old as I am, I'm telling you, I'm 80 years old. I'm not as old as Catherine, she's 90 years old. But Catherine and I, when we had providing that, and the safety for those children, thank you so much. I don't know how long some of you have been here, but if it's less than 12 years or so, you have lived under this Trump. and he does not represent our country. And our only power as citizens is our vote. And the only way we have power is to use our vote. And so those of you who can vote, please remember, it's so important. It really is our only power in a big democracy. So let us work hard. Let us get out the vote next time. Let us make sure we never have another demagogue, another follower of Hitler, another Hitler, certainly not in this country, ever. We are all one, and we are together with you. Thank you.
For the comments you made, the support you've shown. I also wanted to make sure that I relayed the appreciation from the Somali community to that took the case with our Somali community. They wanted to make sure that appreciation was shown. Itself out in a multitude of ways, obviously supporting the child care providers, but also just providing community space for Eid. So I want to say thank you for that. Again, very much like our leaders within the community to make sure that as wide as possible. So thank you again to my colleagues, and thank you to all the allies who showed up today. Very, very appreciative for the way this conversation has happened. I'll hand it back to you, Council President. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Hila Rivera. So I'll jump in here to close it out. Thank you, Councilmember, for your work, the work of your amazing staff in District 9, who time and time again help lead us into these conversations that are so very important. Thank you to Hannah and your leadership over the years and what you've done and what you've taught me. We don't always agree, but you have taught me an awful lot since the first time I went to a Hannah rally years and years ago. Thank you again, as I said at the onset, to all of you who showed up, who took the time to show up, to show that collective solidarity about what is happening with the Somali community, what is happening with the child care providers, and to push back against people who are trying to fill an empty soul and an empty heart with hate and rhetoric because they think that makes them more important. And as my colleagues have said, we live in a very challenging time where social media spreads like wildfire, and people should hide behind the anonymity of social media and make them going forward that we are raising our children in a way that will overwhelm this awfulness. And while I appreciate Councilmember Von Wilbert and the officer from PD, when you have the social media giants in the back pocket of this president, it can be daunting at times to think that there will be an end to this. But we've got 2.5 years. If we can survive that, and I know that, and I know we will, that we can change this course of this country will, that we can change this course of this country back. And so we appreciate each and every one of you, despite some of the challenges we have in balancing the laws of our city, our state, our country. We will continue to look for ways to be supportive, to be protective, to go after those who seek to do harm and ill will there. So I do appreciate the police department, your attention to this, to the attorney's office, and even to the district attorney in those good efforts. So using the words of others that are smarter and more eloquent than me, we will overcome this challenge. Constantly reach out to each of our districts if we can be help and support in any way. And I think there's a letter out there. I will be happy to co-sign it. It is helpful in moving that financial support forward. So with that, we have a motion by Councilmember Hila Rivera and a second by Council President Pro Tem Lee. Please call the roll.
I'm sorry, it's a voting system. Please cast your vote. Member Foster, absent. Thank you, Council President.
You're gonna stay for the next item. So excited. Such a positive camp.
That's weird.
All right. Clerk, please introduce items 201 and 202.
Thank you, Council President. Item 201 is the fiscal year 2027 Maine Assessment District annual reports for Parks and Recreation Department. And item 202 is the fiscal year 2027 Maine Assessment District annual reports for the Economic Development Department. If you'd like to speak for these items, now is the time to raise your hand by pressing star 9, the raise your hand icon, or if you're here in council chambers, to submit your speaker slip to the front of the room in the clear box. Thank you, Council President.
All right, thank you, City Clerk. For these items, we will take the staff presentations together. Public testimony and council comment on these items will also be taken together, and then we'll take separate votes on each item. So with that, staff, please introduce yourself for the record and let us know how much time we need for the joint presentation.
Good afternoon, council members. Thank you for your time today. My name is Michael Jones, and with me is Ria Aguinaldo, and for our presentation will require approximately 7 minutes.
All right, great.
A maintenance assessment district, or MAD, is a legal mechanism to allow property owners the ability to fund improvements and activities within a boundary defined by an assessment engineer. These districts take on many scopes of service, several of which are shown here. Landscaping is the most common type of improvement, generally occurring in medians, parks, and rights-of-way. MADs operate with legal authority to engage in improvements and activities under the guidance of legislation at both the state and local levels. State law, the municipal code, and city council policy are each written to allow districts maximum operational flexibility. A primary goal of these policies is to give communities the ability to offer virtually any type of feasible improvement or activity. Next, I'd like to turn it over to Ria to cover the next section. Ria?
To the public to locate MADs operating. Economic development MADs, shown here in blue, are located in commercial areas, services such as beautification, retail retention, and district branding through seasonal banners. Parks and Recreation MADs, shown in yellow, operate primarily in residential neighborhoods. Oversight and accountability are key components to managing a MAD, as each district is governed by its own engineer's report and assessment structure. To support this, the city uses various contract types to administer services and activities. For Parks and Recreation MADs, the districts are managed by city staff with service delivery through contracts with for-profit vendors. Bird Rock and Savita are the exceptions, managed by nonprofit organizations. For economic development, the districts primarily operate under management agreements with nonprofit organizations with service delivery provided by staff or through subcontracted vendors. All 10 economic development MADs will be managed by nonprofits in fiscal year 27, including Barry Logan and Central Commercial, which will transition from city management. 7 economic development MADs are managed by local business associations that also manage a business improvement district. This shared management structure allows them to coordinate resources and district priorities and leverage assessments to bring additional investments to those communities. The next two slides highlight the visible impact of MADs in their communities. Parks and Recreation MADs shown here support the maintenance and beautification of landscaped areas, parks, and medians. These districts are well positioned to coordinate with city departments and local stakeholders, helping deliver services effectively and aligned with neighborhood service needs. Economic development MADs shown here contribute to cleaner and more welcoming business districts. Landscape maintenance, sidewalk cleaning, and beautification are some examples of day-to-day services shown on this slide. Most districts also offer opportunities for community and property owners to get involved, such as through neighborhood cleanups and district walkthroughs.
MADs may only fund those and confer a special benefit to assessment payers. The engineer's report is updated annually to include new parcel data, changes in land use, and an updated budget for each district. It is important to note that assessments may increase, decrease, or remain the same based upon the needs of the district and fiscal considerations. Boundaries, assessment methodology, locations, and service frequencies may not be updated through the annual process. These changes in assessment levies are shared with community members, stakeholders, or advisory committees associated with one or multiple districts. The proposed actions before the council today for item 2 include the approval of the fiscal year 2027 annual reports. In addition, the department seeks authorization to allow the CFO to expend funds and collect revenues that will sustain the operations of all 54 districts under Parks and Recreation oversight. Additionally, the council would allow the CFO via the department to execute the manual billing of property owners who do not receive a property tax bill.
For item 202, proposed actions include approval of the fiscal year 2027 annual reports for the Economic Development Department, authorize the CFO to appropriate and expend MAD funds, and manually bill the property owners not billed by the county. Proposed actions 4 and 5 request consideration to waive MAD Council Policy 100-21 for Little Italy and Adams Avenue MADs, allowing each district's operating reserve to fall below the required minimum of 10% of operating expenditures.
The proposed actions ensure all of this ensures a seamless continuity of service. These are all useful resources for learning more about the Maintenance Assessment District program here in San Diego.
All right, thank you for the presentation and thank you for the work to bring forward these annual reports.
Speak on both items 201 and 202.
Trying to make a cult actually designed the buildings and created the buildings surrounding the parks and the buildings and the architecture in the parks, and they're actually trying to make the buildings look two-dimensional. This type of architecture is called brutalism. If someone's depth perception is messed with, they can disassociate easier and be mind controlled easier, or be influenced to think a certain way by telepathic people, because the majority of the West Coast are telepaths who may try to influence someone to be liberal or to be a socialist. And I just wanted to say that also the buildings are designed to make you afraid to look at the sky, where there's many unnecessary right angles built into the architecture as well, so that when you look up at the sky, it's almost like a dagger or a right angle like coming down on you to make the sky look jagged, so you're afraid to look at the sky. So I just know that a lot of people who are escaping from cults and trying to enjoy our parks, I may be able to help people if I let them know that don't be afraid to look at the sky, even if there's a giant ominous building hovering over you with right angles hanging off it unnecessarily, and that has intense brutalism architecture that looks two-dimensional to make you dissociate. Do not be afraid to look at the skies in our parks. And I feel like education like this, if we're going to be taking property tax for extra property tax for landscaping, maintenance, and cleaning, the beautification of our parks, I think that we can help people with a message of when you enjoy San Diego's parks, don't be afraid to look at the sky. And I say that because they're building buildings to intentionally make it hard to look at the sky.
Next is Petros Lagos. You are speaking on item 202. Still have 1 minute.
Hello, council members. My name is Petros. I work for City High CDC as a program manager overseeing the Maintenance Assessment District. The Maintenance Assessment District plays a critical role in keeping City High safe, and welcoming through services such as graffiti removal, landscaping, and corridor beautification. The district improves quality of life while serving as a direct conduit between residents, businesses, and community concerns to ensure issues are addressed efficiently and rapidly. These efforts go beyond appearances. Clean and well-maintained corridors promote walkability, strength, community pride, improve public safety, and contribute to a more vibrant local community economy. I'm also proud to share that this year we've organized 5 community cleanups, 2 beautification events, with additional cleanups and beautification events coming up in the near future called Beautify the Block. These efforts have brought students, residents, businesses, and community partners together to work collectively towards a theater community. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ben Nichols.
Hello, my name is Benjamin Nichols and I'm with the Hillcrest Business Association. I'm here today to urge your support for the Maintenance Assessment District program administered by Economic Development Department. Since our district's formation several years ago, we have built a robust suite of clean and safe programs. These include monthly sidewalk steam cleaning, daily trash pickup, annual tree trimming, security patrols, and after-hours on-call security services. We have also filled every vacant tree well in Hillcrest. We've removed hundreds of graffiti tags every week, and we continue to maintain the iconic Hillcrest sign and the Hillcrest Pride flag. I'm happy to note we managed to keep funding for administrative overhead at less than 10% of the budget. I hope the council will feel the same about the importance of this program and vote to support the item.
Thank you. Allegedly, Andre, you'll have 3 minutes, speaking on items 201 and 202.
It's so exciting becoming a target of the Salome or Somali community. Now, whatever. It's for being here. It's great. Yeah, so these, districts that you guys create, I mean, the problem is that you guys engage with these nonprofits. They're all for profit, so I don't even know why we say that they're not. And there is fraud, waste, and abuse with the nonprofits. And it's like, we want to sit here and say that there is no fraud, waste, and abuse going on, and we're targeting people. Yes, people are being targeted, but there is fraud happening. And it's like, you can't even expose it. No, Jennifer, there's no fraud happening at all. None. Absolutely not. Or is it just with Trump? See, that's the thing. You'll say with Trump there is, but if it involves anybody else, there isn't. And that's a significant problem. Because we should be talking about these things. Instead, we brush it under the rug and say it's like a racist thing to talk about. No, it's happening across the board. And again, I shouldn't be a target because of that. It's like, that's what you guys do, though. You come in and you sow discord with the people so that we fight each other. Instead of looking at you guys for doing what you're doing. That money from these daycares was given by the government. And it's like, it's just ridiculous that we want to pretend like everything is just good and cupcakes and rainbows. It's just Trump. That man's got to get out of here. Those problems existed before he was here. And the fact that you guys want to sit up there on your dais and act like that's not true, shame on you. Woe to you guys for lying to the people and acting like you have nothing to do with it. It's a disgrace. People will have their homes taken if they don't pay this tax, but if you don't provide what needs to be, ain't nothing going to happen.
And we're starting the 5-minute timer, going to those participating remotely, starting with Hector. If you can please unmute.
I'll speak on both things. We should assess any illegal aliens that are associated with businesses and towns, double the assessment rate. If you're an American citizen, you get 1,000. And if you're an illegal alien or harboring them or waiting on your visa or scamming your green card, double the assessment value. And pay a bonus for people that expose them. So if you know somebody's doing it, you get fined. the actual person, it'd be like a bounty hunter. And those two Somali girls were lying on the stand who said that $20 billion was fake, that Trump was making up those $20 billion fraud scams off the government. That was a blatant lie. But I was going to try to make it lighter. And have you guys heard any Somali jokes? Like, how many Somalis does it take to screw in a life?
Next caller is Wade Beekman. If you can please unmute.
Hi, Wade Beekman. Thank you.
Are you speaking on both items?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I would like to comment that as how the MAD reports can work, it's my understanding, I'm hoping that as parking has been ended, parking commissions have been ended in San Diego, possibly the MAD source can be a way to bring parking and local small businesses together to discuss issues, to address funding concerns. Hopefully the tech accountability I work with can always be included in that. What can be the future of that and how to develop it well. It's not just public safety sections with the public safety tech. Also, it's a balance of all of that, and good luck in working on those good efforts. I guess that's about it for myself on this item. I think, I hope the DRA doesn't feel disappointed. We have to address what is rhetoric and how we all address rhetoric. And there isn't one side that has a full-on place in rhetoric. It's a working effort from all of us to look what we can develop. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Christopher Gomez. Please unmute. And then our final speaker after that is Robert. Christopher, please let me know if you'd like to speak on both items or which item you'd like to speak on.
Specifically to the maintenance assessment districts pertaining to the nonprofits.
Okay, 1 minute.
Thank you. I would first like to say thank you very much to Economic Development for continued support and assisting our nonprofit corporations in facilitating the maintenance assessment district. My name is Chris Gomez. I am the Chief Executive Administrator for Little Italy Association. We administer 48 square blocks known as Little Italy in the northern part of downtown San Diego. We have pressure washing, daily porter services, urban forestry, urban landscaping, and several other activations that we do throughout the year that help forward. So we request that the council approve this, and as well as the Park and Rec MADs. Thank you.
And we do still have another caller, Robert, and then Scott Kessler. The 5-minute timer has not concluded.
Can you hear me?
Yes, please proceed. Are you speaking on both items or which item?
Thank you. On this point of order, whether you guys just cut off the public comment because you disagree with the content. And so I'd like to remind you of the violations that this board has already been involved with, right? You guys do quorum checks now, right? Well, are you also going to cut off every public speaker because you disagree with them? Are you going to take away the First Amendment from reporters doing their job, reporting on things? Like, what if we stop reporting on all the financial stuff and you guys just get to spend all the money you want? No one can ever call you out for spending the money. Like, what is the line you're willing to draw? Because I just saw you cut off a public comment tape. I mean, are you going to do the same to me? You think nobody's watching. We're all watching from home right now. And the audits will continue, right? Like, even financial audits should start now. Like, we do meeting audits, and this is just a Brown Act violations that you guys seem to be committing by cutting off the public's right to be heard, redress grievance. You guys are walking into this knowing we're recording all of these meetings, right? Like, the evidence is you when you speak on that dais. And then when it turns on you, all of a sudden you have to shut us up from exposing it, right? That's your guys' great plan? Like, wait until you guys find out, okay? Because this is just us talking, right? And you can't even handle us talking. So I advise this council that if they want to be in violation of the Brown Act, continue to cut off public speakers. We'll make notice of that every time.
Time has concluded. Scott Kessler, if you can please unmute.
Good afternoon, council members. I'm the executive director of the Adams Avenue Business Association, or AABA, and we are in full support of item 202. AABA has managed MAD services along our 2.5-mile linear district since the early 90s after establishing our bid in 1985. Our district crosses through the communities of Kensington, Normal Heights, and University Heights and is split between council districts 3 and 9. AABA leverages its combined MAD and bid assessments by a factor of 5 to 1, raising an additional $500,000 annually, which gets reinvested in district activities and improvements. To self-manage its own services in the early 90s. The MAD, along with our other bid activities, has returned great value to our 800 business and property owner members for the past 41 years. MAD services include maintaining 415 street trees, which provide a lush urban canopy, and the emptying of 40 trash cans and removing litter and graffiti throughout the corridor every day of the week.
Sir, I'm sorry, your time has concluded. If you're only speaking to item 202, the timer was incorrectly put, but if you're only speaking to the Economic Development Department, that was a minute. Thank you for your comments. Hector, I have unmuted you. If you'd like to speak on the topic of the main assessment districts, you will have 1 minute to speak on the actual topic of the main assessment districts.
Okay, so on the maintenance thing, keep an eye, maybe have a public hearing on the different guys so they can show their paperwork. What do they spend on what, who gets it, if their brother's getting all the contracts with spraying, or if it's just, or it's straight, it's on the up and up. It probably is, but they probably want to come out and tell everyone about it. But here it is, here's the numbers, here's what we're doing, and we want some more money and stuff like that. But then I still want to voice the thing about the some penalty for that. Where now that we have the license plates readers, we can kind of fine them if we have to, if they take off running. If they get exposed, they might want to run, which happens. Even you guys get exposed, you might want to take a vacation or take care of your dog or something, or my dog has a headache, I gotta go.
Your time has concluded. That concludes public comment on these items.
All right, thank you, City Clerk, and thank you, Hector. With that, we'll turn it over to my colleagues, and your comments and questions can speak to both items, and then we'll be taking separate motions for 201 and for 202. Next up,
Thank you so much. These items were heard in our committee, Communities and Neighborhood Services, and we appreciate so much your hard work and good presentation. And I wonder if you would help those who misunderstand. If you could explain to them in very simple terms what exactly a maintenance assessment district is and how the funds for it occur.
Thank you for your question, Councilmember Campbell. That's obviously the existential question for MADs, and the fundamental concept is that a MAD is a legal mechanism by which property owners can assess and create funds for improvements and activities in a defined location. And those frequencies and locations determine the boundary of the district. So in simple terms, it's a way for property owners to create ways to beautify and improve neighborhoods.
Yes.
Absolutely. So the funds are conferred upon formation. Reverse engineered. Services are defined, the frequencies of location are determined, and then the boundaries are set. Within those boundaries, property owners are then tasked with funding the program through their property tax bill via assessments. And in that is an annual process that occurs that determines which services are continuing and which services are continuing at what rate, et cetera. And then at that point, the assessments are altered and changed based on, or sometimes they don't change based on the needs of the district in terms of service. And would we like to add anything?
I can add just an additional piece to that as well. For the assessments, each engineer's report for each district identifies an assessment methodology for calculating the assessment for each property owner. Generally, the assessment methodology involves building square footage of the property, at times land use as well. And so every year, and especially with this annual process, the assessment calculation is based on the latest data that our department engineers work off of to create or to prepare the total budget for each district.
Right. So in other words, people ask to be part of a MAD, and then they are given mechanisms by which this can be organized by the government. The mechanisms are given by the government, by the law, but they themselves are volunteering to do this to improve their neighborhood. And then they pay their assessed amount to help fund the improvements. The city and the economic department looks over them to make sure and audit that everything is kosher, everything is working well and working correctly and working honestly. And so with that, I would be happy to make the motion to accept staff's recommendation.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Campbell. So we have a motion to move the recommendation for item 201. We'll go next to Councilmember Whitburn.
Thank you, Council President. Thank you, Councilmember Campbell, for hearing this item at your committee. I would like to thank Parks and Recreation and the Economic Development Departments for your work and support of our maintenance assessment districts. District 3 is fortunate to have several MADs that improve the cleanliness and safety of our communities. Adams Avenue, First San Diego River Improvement Project, Greater Hillcrest, Ludley, Mission Hills Historic Street Lighting, Grove Park, University Avenue and Washington Street, University Heights and Washington Street. Everybody who resides, visits, or runs a business in one of these districts benefits from the enhanced services that a MAD provides. And I especially want to acknowledge the people on the ground who perform this often recognition or praise. They work to keep our sidewalks clean, our streets trimmed, and our parkways maintained, among all the other services they provide our city every day. Our neighborhoods are better off because of their dedicated efforts, and I'm happy to second the motion.
All right, thank you, sir. So we have a motion by Councilmember Campbell and a second by Councilmember Whitburn to move the staff recommendation for item 201. I don't see anyone else on the lights, so I will add my thank you to Park and Rec and Economic Development. Fortunate to have helped form the MAD under those two different umbrellas going forward, and do appreciate. And to the property owners, their first line is those, especially the self-managed ones, and those that they have appointed to represent them. And of course, we as a city are the backstop for that conversation going forward. So I appreciate what each of you do in your respective roles. The one question I wanted to ask was, some 60 years ago, the city really made a big push to really reach out to communities, to engage them in essentially government work, to be the eyes and ears on their communities. We have a pretty robust history in this city, often the leader across the country in that work. But of late, there's been some observations, maybe started with planning groups, some conversations about parking districts. Parking districts still exist. We're in a 2-year pilot, halfway through a 2-year pilot program. Let's not forget that. When you look at MADs through the Park and Rec Department, when you look at them through economic development, are we feeling pretty solid about the way we structure them, the way we manage them, the oversight? Do we feel comfortable about that? You only come once a year, so I wanted to ask the question now.
No, thank you for the question, Councilmember. I think it's a very good one, and I think that, you know, when we look at the broad scope of how the program works, one of the things that makes me proud to do my job is the collaborative approach with communities. It does me no greater joy than to drive through a neighborhood and know that because of our efforts as city staff and working collaboratively with communities, that an area or a neighborhood is more beautiful and cleaner because of it. So that, to me, tells me that we are doing things right. Certainly, there are things we can evaluate and do better. That doesn't exempt us from continuing to better what we do. But I am proud of the relationship we have with our community groups, specifically in your district as well. I think in Parks and Recreation, we have a very good relationship with our Bird Rock Community Council and friends there. And I'll let Rita expand on that.
Thank you for the question, Council President. I'm happy to respond from the Economic Development Department and welcome my management team over here to fill in on anything that I'm missing. In terms of economic development, MADs, the self-managed structure, which is that nonprofit organizations are contracted by the City of San Diego to operate, to deliver the services, to determine the best composition of service delivery, whether that be in-house contracted vendors. That is one that for economic development MADs is the drive when there's a nonprofit organization that is based in the community, that has local resources, relationships with property owners, and essentially sort of that skin in the game. They are tasked with delivering services that their property owners need, and so in order for them to really be most effective in doing so is by involving the property owners in their operations in every sort of aspect of their work when it comes to the volunteering for community cleanups, or determining the budget for the year, or whether or not they're doing their job. And so I think what I will add to that is our nonprofits have had to be very resilient within really the last year as well, with costs going up. As independent nonprofit organizations, they're having to be very nimble and adaptable to ensure that the services can be provided as approved by this council and as determined in their engineer's report. So hopefully that helps.
Thank you for that affirmative response. I very much appreciate the work. We know there's so many of them. There's a lot of work, a lot of buckets you got to be checking along the way over the course of the year. All right, Councilmember Campbell. Oh, okay. So we do have a motion by Councilmember Campbell and a second by Councilmember Whitburn to move the staff recommendation for item 201. Please call the roll, clerk.
I'm sorry, the voting system, please cast your vote. And that passes unanimously 8-0 with Councilmember Foster absent. Thank you, Council President.
All right. Staff recommendation 202. Please.
And that passes unanimously 8-0 with Councilmember Foster absent. Thank you, Council President.
All right, thank you. Again, thank you for your good work. And with that, clerk, please introduce item 200.
Thank you, Council President. Item 200 is the fiscal year 2027 Downtown Property and Business Improvement District Annual Report and Budget. If you'd like to speak on this item, please be sure to submit your speaker slips to the front of the room in the clear box, or if you're joining us virtually, now's the time to raise your hand by pressing *9 or the raise your hand icon. Thank you, Council President.
All right, thank you. This item is solely ensconced within District 3, and I believe Councilmember Whitburn, you're interested in waiving the presentation? Yes, I have to see anybody else requesting the presentation. So with that, clerk, let's go to public comment.
Thank you, Council President, we do have some speakers for this item. Maximilian Schmidt, if you can please come forward to the podium, and then allegedly Audra, and then our final speaker is Alonso Vivas.
Quite a few.
Allegedly Audra, if you can please come forward.
Max isn't here. I mean, 3 speakers isn't.
You guys waving your presentation, you act like the presentations are for you guys. I mean, some of the public would like to see them so they know what's going on, but go ahead and pretend that they're for you guys and so you can wave them because nobody needs to hear it. You already know how you're gonna vote. And I'm just wondering, when are we gonna see improvements? You guys talk about it, you do a really great job bringing presentations, a lot of paperwork, you know what I mean, good storytelling. Wondering when we're gonna visually see this around us. Is there a date that you guys plan to release that? And then you guys can be like, look at what we did. People are shitting on the sidewalks, you know, and peeing everywhere because you guys don't have any bathrooms for them. But as long as we start moving the shit into somebody else's neighborhood and just say, we clean this up, look, isn't that great? We told them to move down. Homelessness is gone. We are doing fantastic. You just don't go down a couple of blocks. Like, you guys, it's so sad. It's just interesting to see the way the government really works. Like, I've had this, like, first-hand experience with it for years now. And it is interesting because you guys are very good at pulling wool over people's eyes and making them believe that what you're doing is like bettering our lives, that you're providing public safety and you're combating homelessness and you're providing affordable housing. You know what I mean? It's like good salesmen. I mean, just like Stephen Lux, you guys are good car salesmen. You know what I mean? It's interesting. Just wondering when you guys are actually gonna do what you were put up there to do. Actually, you are. That's true. You're up there to do what you're. So good job. I mean, just keep going.
Alonso Vivas, if you can please come forward. Oh, you are Alonso Vivas. Okay. Well, you have speaking slips here for 6 minutes.
Thank you. I'll take the full speech. About to.
If I can just have the following individuals then raise their hand: Justine Murray and Danny Garcia. Thank you so much. You'll have the 6 minutes. Please proceed.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Council President, Council members. My name is Alonso Vivas, Senior Vice President and Executive Director of the Downtown San Diego Partnership, Clean and Safe Program. I'm here today in strong support, approval of the fiscal year 27 Downtown Property and Business Improvement District budget. For more than 25 years, PBID has successfully overseen private partnership providing enhanced services paid entirely by downtown property owners. We greatly appreciate the Council's support for PBID renewal last year. Today, the PBID serves 280 blocks and approximately 11,000 property owners through downtown while supporting 86 dedicated employees who work daily to keep our downtown clean, safe, and welcoming. Since renewal, we have expanded services to more than 8 downtown parks and responded to over 41,000 service requests. In the first 9 months of this fiscal year alone, our crews collected more than 1.1 million pounds of trash, removed over 64,000 instances of human and pet waste, power washed more than 42,000 sidewalks, and removed 26,000 instances of graffiti and stickers. Our safety ambassadors completed more than 95,000 service requests, conducted over 30,000 individual welfare checks, and performed more than 68,000 safety patrols through downtown. The PBID also continues to invest in downtown's appearance and vitality through maintenance of more than 100 neighborhood planners, public art installation, gateway beautification projects, and the Adopt the Highway program, which currently has 2 major downtown Our operational enhancements include sidewalk deep cleaning, rapid response teams, and a fully based service request system have further improved efficiency and service delivery. Cleaner, safer, and more welcoming downtown while leveraging private investment to enhance shared public goals and improve quality of life for residents, businesses, employees, and visitors. On behalf of the Downtown San Diego Partnership, we respectfully request your approval of this item today. My colleagues and I are available to answer any questions. Thank you for your time and continued support.
For those participating remotely, Blair Beekman, if you can please unmute.
Hi, thank you. You haven't funded any sources for bathroom. I mentioned it earlier, how we address our unhoused and homeless. I think we're going to have to look a bit more closely at in the next coming year. Good luck how we can do that, and thank you for this item. Good luck that downtown could be a safe place, and that we can bring back, oh man, I got 1 minute, 32 seconds. I'm going to say this with all I got. You guys ended the, no cars along Fifth Avenue at the nighttime. And I hope you can bring that back. I mean, that was like a major idea of how to bring back our future communities as pedestrian walkways. And not that everything's filled with busy 10 tons of traffic all the time. And why did you give that up? I'm really shocked that you guys don't want to continue pedestrians use late at night along Fifth Avenue and a couple other avenues downtown. I hope we can talk about that practice again and make that just a regular conversation why we aren't talking about that. That should just be our basics of our future sustainability and our future selves, that we have walkways with no cars. And man, I need that kind of conversation from you guys a lot more regularly as just a free-flowing love of what our best practices are. Thank you.
Thank you. Hector, if you can please unmute. After that.
All right, thanks for taking my call. And thanks for clarifying that. When I heard the word assessment, our condo a few years ago was assessed at $800,000, and now we're selling for $650,000. So we fought the assessment we've been fighting it again too, to get it brought down to reality. That's for the county. So when I heard, I didn't know it was voluntary assessment. You said voluntary at the end. And then I figured, okay, it's voluntary assessment. I thought it was just, when assessment, the county assesses it and that's it. You gotta fight it, you gotta agree with it or pay it. You gotta pay it no matter what. And it's got like 50 things on the tax bill. This bond measure, this thing, that you really start counting on. All sorts of things are on the tax bill, property tax bill. So they did lower it once, we're going for it again too. And they're doing the assessment, so. But downtown, one thing they gotta develop, I gotta make a fortune if you could get something that would eliminate the smell of dog urine. I used to work down there and get down there by the food for less in those areas in the morning. It's dog urine. It's not like a human fecal stuff so much. It's mainly everyone's got a dog and pissing on the limited trees. I don't see how there's a tree that's even alive. Every time in the morning, man, it just smells like, it's like that movie. There, it's like, you're smelling that dog piss in the morning. But they're doing a good job out there. They're trying. All the guys on bikes are doing good. The Padres want it clean. And I disagree with them about getting rid of the homeless shelter, though. Because those guys that seems to be working, or whatever working means, but it's just brutal to do that, man. Okay, thanks a lot.
Please unmute.
Hello. I find it highly inappropriate that the member sitting in a closed-off area sitting next to staff makes a public comment instead of us hearing a presentation.
Yeah.
I mean, how am I, a member of the public just viewing this, supposed to make a public comment before the guy sitting next to staff makes his public comment, which is basically the presentation, right? If it's got nothing to do with the presentation, why don't you tell you all the good things that they're doing? You know, so you guys got to be transparent. I don't know when you guys are going to get it. Like, oh, you guys sat there, you released the paperwork, what, 72 hours before the meeting, so people had 3 days to look over the paperwork, and you won't even do a simple presentation. And then he comes on during a public comment and says a presentation, and everybody just sits there and never even mentions it. I mean, this is your guys' diets. This is how I'm observing you run the meeting, is instead of being transparent, you'll hide it under public comment, and the rest of us got to make do with the information we get from that, instead of you putting it all on a plain, level playing field, giving us the information, and then letting us all hear it before we make a public comment. I mean, if he is sitting there next to staff, I'm assuming he is staff.
Mm-hmm.
So why wasn't that done during the presentation and done during the public comment? What are you guys trying to hide? That's what I'm looking for, because at this point, he should have went up to the public comment mic and spoke like the rest of us. Just like the rest of you on the dais should do if you want to make a public comment during an item. Do you use your time to speak, or do you use our time to speak?
You got donated time.
Your time has concluded, and that concludes public comment on this item.
Thank you, City Clerk. We'll now turn over to council members for question, comments, entertain a motion, and we'll go to Councilmember Woodford.
Thank you very much, Council President. I very much appreciate the work of the Downtown Property and Business Improvement District. These are special benefits that are paid for by downtown property owners, but they really benefit anybody visiting downtown. Those services include maintenance and safety, unhoused care, business attraction, beautification, and much more. If you don't already know, if you are downtown and you notice trash or graffiti or something unsafe, you could use the Clean and Safe app to report the issue. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, Clean and Safe ambassadors respond nearly immediately to resolve reported issues. We are very fortunate to have the leadership of Mr. Vigas, the Executive Director of the Clean and Safe program sitting up here, as well as Senior Program Director Danny Garcia and Director of Clean Services, Ernesto Romo, Partnership Vice President Justine Murray is here as well. Thank you to the entire team. Clean, safe, and welcoming for residents and visitors alike. A team that works closely with our PBID to ensure a thriving downtown. These services really do provide a great benefit, and I'm happy to make the motion to support the staff recommendation.
All right, thank you, council members. We have a motion by Councilmember Woodburn to move the staff recommendation. We'll go to Councilmember Campbell next.
Thank you so much, and thank you for the presentation, and thank you for all that you do. I second everything you said. You helped so much to make downtown a welcoming place, and I am happy to second the motion.
All right, so we have a motion by Councilmember Whitburn and a second by Councilmember Campbell to move the staff recommendation. Clerk, please call the roll.
Start the voting system, please cast your vote. That passes unanimously 8-0 with Councilmember Foster absent. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, staff, for the good work. Clerk, please introduce item 203.
Item 203 is the California Coastal Commission modifications to the 2024 Land Development Code, update of the San Diego Municipal Code and local coastal program. If you are here and like to speak to this item, please be sure to submit your speaker slip to the front of the room in the clear box if you are participating remotely. Now is the time to raise your hand by pressing *9 or the raise your hand icon. Thank you, Council President.
I'm going to waive the presentation. Let's waive it.
Starting to settle in, if you do, introduce yourselves for the record and let us know how much time you need.
Good afternoon, Council President and members of the City Council. Deputy Director Seth Lechny. The item before you today is for the adoption of the California Coastal Commission modifications to the 2024 Land Development Code update to the San Diego Municipal Code and Local Coastal Program. The City Council adopted the 2024 Land Development Code update on July 16, 2024. The 2024 Land Local Coastal Program included 99 amendments to the municipal code intended to simplify the city's development regulations, make the code, eliminate redundancies and contradictions, and increase predictability in the application of regulations, comply with state law, correct existing regulations, and provide regulatory reforms. City staff submitted the 2024 Land Development Code update for Coastal Commission certification on September 10, 2024. After reviewing the Land Development Code update on February 5, 2026, the California Coastal Commission continued the 2024 Land Development Code update to the Municipal Code and Local Coastal applications. To approve any proposed modifications prior to the amendments to the Local Coastal Program taking effect in the coastal zone. If the modifications are approved by the City Council today, the 2024 Land Development Code update and modifications will be resubmitted to the Coastal Commission for final certification. The 2024 Land Development Code update amendments removed the physical environment as a condition for the denial of incentives in exchange for affordable housing dwelling units through a density bonus. The original strikeout language erroneously included the word including, which could be interpreted in a manner inconsistent with state law. The first Coastal Commission modification corrects this grammatical error by striking out the word including and adding the word on before environmentally sensitive lands. This amendment aligns the municipal code with California Government Code Section 65915, which removes the specified adverse impacts to the physical environment as a condition for the denial of incentives for projects proposing a density bonus. The 2024 Land Development Code update included regulations regarding the granting of incentives for affordable development. These regulations clarified that the granting of incentives for affordable development would not require a land use plan amendment, zoning change, study, or other discretionary approval. The second proposed modification amends Municipal Code Section 143.0740C3 to clarify that granting incentives for affordable development shall not require a land use plan amendment, zoning change, study, or other discretionary approval except as required to comply with the California Coastal Act. The 2024 Land Development Code update also included regulations regarding the granting of waivers in exchange for affordable housing units through a density bonus. These regulations clarify that the granting of waivers would not require a general plan amendment, zoning change, development permit, or other discretionary approval. The second proposed modification amends Municipal Code Section 143.0743C to clarify that granting incentives for affordable development shall not require a general plan amendment, zoning change, approval, except as required to comply with the California Coastal Act. Staff recommends the City Council adopt an ordinance to approve the Coastal Commission's modifications to the 2024 Land Development Code update amendments to the Municipal Code and Local Coastal Program. The City Council's approval of the modifications will allow the 2024 Land Development Code update to receive final Coastal Commission certification and all code amendments associated with the item to take effect in the coastal zone. If the Council makes any amendments to the modifications, the entire 2024 Land Development Code update will need to be resubmitted to the Coastal Commission for certification. This could result in additional delays in implementing the 2024 Land Development Code update within the coastal overlay zone. This concludes staff's presentation, and we are available for questions.
All right, thank you for the presentation and the work to bring us forward. Clerk, please proceed with public comment.
Thank you, Council President. Maximilian Schmidt, I don't see him here, so allegedly Audra, if you can please come forward to speak on this item.
I have to address a point of order because the fact that that man from Downtown Partnership just spoke during public comment on duty while he's doing a presentation, you can't do that. That's not only a misuse of public funds, it's like, that's against the Brown Act. You guys continue to do capacity, but representing Downtown Partnership, he's getting public comment while presenting you guys with a presentation. So there's significant issues with the way you guys are running these meetings. These are procedural errors that are so simple. And again, it's like, if we can't trust you to run a meeting to make technical personal capacity under an entity, like, what the hell is going on? And you guys want to be like, oh my gosh, Audra, you're being disruptive. Like, are you going to send the officers after me again like you did with the quorum? When all of a sudden now, you guys are checking to make sure you have quorum? Where you try to criminalize me for holding you accountable? Like, these are the basics that you guys can't even follow. And you're so annoyed, Joe, but it's like, fuck. Can't you guys just do your job right? Instead of getting it mad at me for calling it out? I mean, all you guys have to do is that you just sit here and witness you guys left and right violating the law. And it's annoying because it's like, you just want to act like, what? We're up on a dais and like, people put us here. Like, what are you going to do about it? That's what people of you guys. That you sit up there and you act like we're untouchable. You can't do nothing to me. What are you going to do? Because I'll use your money to go after you and silence you. And it's just sad. But people need to see this because you guys can't be trusted.
So I have a 5-minute timer going to those participating remotely, starting with John Stump, if you can please unmute.
Hey, thank you very much. Well, these amendments to the flawed development code. You know, the last time I spoke to you concerning the amendments to the development code, I asked that you continue and correct, so you can correct the doubling of fees from $1,000 to $2,380 for the public's participation in protesting a environmental determination by staff. I, at that time, presented to you the fact that there were errors in the staff report that you received justifying that raise. The main error, of course, was that it was Dixie-Dixit. It was, well, we're going to charge these fees because we said so. And second, it was based on just raising the fees for a regular council meeting when the amount that you're supposed to recover is for a quasi-judicial hearing. So please, if you can do it to correct the errors that were in the Coastal Commission, please redock it and correct the errors in doubling the fees for public access to a judicial hearing. You've got in the mayor's staff and the city attorney as being charged to the plaintiff, the appellant. Please redock it. Thank you.
Concluded. Thank you, Robert. If you can please unmute. After that is Blair Beekman and then Hector.
Thank you. Thank you, Dias, for confirming my suspicion that that speaker was giving a presentation. I'm pretty sure we all agreed upon that. We'll talk about your next mistake, right? You guys approved something to the Coastal Commission that has errors. They approved it, sent it back to you, and now you're trying to get it reapproved with the corrections, even though they already approved it, right? So they didn't catch your error. Okay, let's talk about a whole other thing. The people who own the property don't even need your permission to do these things, right? They can just do it without, it's called the right to build it, right? They have the right to oversee your power. You have no control over them. The only people you guys can have control over is us. And then you make our lives, impossible to not come here and disagree with you guys while you guys are sitting there looking at Newsom when he's making your life all the stuff that the developers want to do. They don't need none of your environmental studies. They don't need the zoning redistricting. You don't need nothing. They can do it without your permission. Start laughing at you. You guys are like the laughing stock of this right now. And then the fact that you're resubmitting an error just proves the point that this board is not perfect, all right? You guys make plenty of mistakes, and it's time you start fessing up to them. Because like I said, even the dais, the person speaking said that was a presentation. Thank you for the presentation. Did I get thanks for my public comment for calling it out? No, you just don't like the people who correct you, right? You only want to hear from the people who agree with you and support your positions, right? So, it's a big joke. You want to hear a joke about a bunch of political people? Are you going to silence me too for that one? Ha ha. It's called freedom of speech.
Blair Beekman, if you can please unmute.
Hi, Blair Beekman. I felt the joke previous was about to border on hurting public meeting decorum, to be perfectly honest. Free speech is important, so is public meeting decorum, and that line was about to be crossed. For this item, thank you for the person's public comment overall. Along with DRA, I think they have a very interesting point that we really need to hear the presentations, and passing them up really robs what is going on with an item and better understanding it. And for the person to then come back to the public meeting dais to give public comment, it sounds a little odd. I'm going to have to understand this better in the future. So good luck with that. Good luck in understanding that better. I wanted to comment to this item that you guys have been giving away a lot of land lately, and it's been of concern. Because the city government land is always a really important asset, and I know we're difficult sometimes, but I hope you can be cautious about that, or use that caution in your explanations while you're giving up the land and things like that. So good luck in those types of efforts. As always, as my words these days on coastal commission things, when you're doing things like the Midway Rising project, we really have to be clear on what the sea level rise issues are about with the project. It just makes for a better process for everyone in understanding what we're doing. And if you don't explain that clearly, your city government staff's going to not talk about sea level rise issues for other projects more clearly. Get the meeting here, we're supposed to be open about these things, and that way we build on real good truths that we can all work towards as a community, instead of hiding things and keeping things halfway. And good luck.
Time has concluded. Hector, if you can please unmute.
Thanks. Yeah, dealing with the state is so shady now. Our number one concern should be building a state-of-the-art water treatment plant in Tijuana River, just for all the kids that live down there and the adults. Above everything else, I wouldn't give the state any more money. Just make them an excuse until we get the sewer plant built, state-of-the-art, man, and have a reservoir down there and do gray water, turn it into gray water they can do fields with. But anything with the state, it's really shady because even the fire money, the governor ran off with the money. and then disappeared her nonprofit the next day when they found out about it. And then blaming Trump, and talk about hate, man, today. There's a lot of Trump haters on the board. You guys hate, I don't hate Somali people. I don't hate black people. I don't hate Mexicans. You know, I don't have the time to hate them. But I just don't want them living here if they're illegal. We've got other things to do to get our city back. We got to build a dam in Lake Hodges. That's going to take a lot of stuff. We got to clean up all the sand in the Tijuana River. There's a huge amount of sand that's just sewage, man. There's a lot of things we need the money for. We can do it in San Diego. We don't need the Coastal Commission telling us what we can do at the beach. We have thousands of people that give a shit about our city. And we don't need their advice. And we don't want to model ourselves out of Oakland and San Francisco. Those guys are shithole cities. Those guys are shithole cities, man. Oh, man. And we got it here in San Diego, man. I'm down at the trolley station down in Mission Valley. It's beautiful down there. There's nobody down there. But anyway, good luck.
That concludes public comment for this item. Thank you, Council President.
All right, thank you, City Clerk. Audra, I thought you would be so good at reading people's faces that you would be able to read mine. It had nothing to do with you. You were on point. Robert was on point. I was so pissed that that individual was sitting up there, but I chose decorum, let him finish. We'll have a separate conversation. I agree, totally inappropriate for that individual to be sitting there in chambers. Not you, the previous item, I'm sorry. But you're right. I chose decorum, let him finish. Won't happen again under my watch. Since I am one of the council members, the two council members in the coastal zone, thank you for the good work. Thank you for your patience in chasing this for, 2 years now. And I will move approval of the staff recommendation. Councilmember Campbell.
I second. Thank you.
All right. Not seeing anybody else in the lights, we have a motion by myself and a second by Councilmember Campbell to move the staff recommendation. Please call a roll.
So the voting system, please cast your vote. That passes. Sorry, I didn't realize that. That passes unanimously with Councilmember Moreno and Councilmember Foster absent. Thank you, Council President.
Council members respect and appreciate the public's input, are fully committed to protecting every participant's free speech rights at council and committee meetings. Clerk, please proceed with public comment.
Thank you, Council President. Per Rule 2.7, non-agenda public comment is an opportunity for members of the public to comment on items that are not on the agenda but within the subject matter jurisdiction of the City Council. Each speaker will have 2 minutes. Please note if there are 8 or more speakers on a single topic, the maximum time for the topic will be 16 minutes. If you are in chambers, please submit your speaker slip. If you're joining us virtually, please raise your hand to speak by tapping the raise your hand icon, or if you're a call participant, *9. Joyce Ingata, if you'd like to please come forward. After that is Maximilian Schmidt, but I don't see him here. Then Charlene Antolino. Please proceed.
First of all, I have no idea how I'm going to say it. I graduated from college in my middle age period. And when I came out of college, I had blown open my mind. It was a pretty fabulous, unbelievable, defining moment for me. And wouldn't you know it, I stumbled upon a movie called Rashomon. And I highly recommend it. It's very old. And it's a story about a crime. And 3 people have witnessed the crime. And it tells the story of those 3 people and how really how life is unknowing and where is the truth. So I bring that forward to our experiences with our speakers today and everything, how it came together. And I just want you to know that this is life. And we're doing a great job at it. All of us. Everybody. So don't give up. You can get angry if you want to, You can cut people off if you want to. It's all okay, because we're stumbling. We're stumbling together. We don't know what in the heck it's about. We're gonna die, and we can't stop it. And here we are, and we're muddling together to figure it out. I'll tell you this, and I tell it truthfully. We are living, standing on a miracle. I get it. Get it while you're young. This is a miracle called life.
Thank you for that concluding comment. Charlene Antolino. Nikhil Putner Booker, please come forward. Jesse De Angelis, I don't see anyone else here, so, and then allegedly Audra. Please proceed.
Good afternoon. My name is Nikhil Putner Booker. I am an Aaron Price Fellow and attend San Diego High School. Where the issue of pretextual stops was discussed. I am here today to urge that you work with the Commission in pressuring the SDPD to reduce their use of this harmful practice. A top concern of the city government is public safety. The impact pretext stops have on civil protection. A study by the Vera Institute in big cities discovered that contraband was found in 1 to 2% of pretext stops. A study by the LAPD found that 9% of the contraband found from those pretext stops were dangerous arms, meaning in total, 9% to 2%, pretext stops are successful in finding weapons 0.00 with is does the 1 to 2% of pretext stops discovering contraband with an even smaller fraction finding weaponry justify the continuation of an increasingly poor relationship between the police and historically marginalized communities. To think that public safety is simply conducting arrests and catching criminals is a heavily limited perspective. Public safety lies in the police force's reputation and relationship to San Diegans. An argument can be made that pretext stops actually harm public safety and have a net negative effect. When communities feel targeted, will that help police to address crime? Will community members be likely to cooperate with the police? Will your constituents feel safe dialing 911? The CPP can only do so much to get our police department to reduce this problematic exercise of power. I urge you all to expand the level of authority the CPP has over policy making at SDPD, or at the very least provide support when they look to recommend increasing pretextual stops.
Allegedly Audra, if you can please come forward.
Great job. Love seeing kids come in and participate. Joe, your face of annoyed with me is the same as the other, so it's kind of hard to tell. I mean, you just have a similar face, you know what I mean? So, anywho, but I appreciate that. There's always room for improvement to admit the things that we have done wrong and course correct. It's not that hard to do, but those people hate doing it, especially you guys, especially about the quorum, but I will take that as a win because you started doing your checks, and so I'll notch that on my belt as well. Yeah, and joy, I love it. Life is an amazing treat, and that's why I take it very seriously, holding people accountable, because life doesn't have to be like this. It really doesn't. It doesn't have to be where we give all these people like you a bunch of money and you throw it away and people suffer. And then instead of going, what am I doing that is actually leading to this? I love course correcting. I love to look at myself and go, I probably shouldn't do that. Oh my gosh, maybe I shouldn't even think that. Oh gosh, because it makes me better and the world around me changes. And the world around us won't change until us as individuals sit there and course correct. It's because everybody's like, oh, it's Sean, it's Marnie, it's Steven. You know what I mean? And like, yes, you guys are responsible for things. But as individuals, we're also responsible for what we allow to happen. And so like, as you guys get so annoyed with me, good. I'm happy to be a gadfly because I know where the shit is. And I want to expose it and show people that it doesn't have to be this way, that we can turn things around. But it's unfortunate because the government is a business. And until people see that and see that people are just trying to survive
and giving you guys all the money, and you give us, like, you should have enough money for the hugest mansion, and what we get is a trailer park. And it's unfortunate. But when people can see that and course correct,
Thank you. Going to those participating remotely, we currently have 8 speakers.
Hi, Claire Beekman. My Zoom may cut out. Sorry about that if it does. You know my list I've been repeating from last week. If we have the means to know how to leave block, I hope we can continue those efforts. Your city government has ways you can work on it, save some budget dollars. I think we should add to that the idea of having a way to and accountably. I think that can address a lot of the issues that keeps getting voted down. And I think we have ways that, you know, people are really ready to leave their technology use. That's I think working on it, that's the kind of conversation we have to first. I think I missed in my last public comment on the item on about dealing about hatred towards Somali people. I really wanted to, and I'm going to do it as much as I can. Respect all levels of conversation and dialogue. I think ERA has really important voices feeling particularly people.
You are cutting us down there. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me right now at 19 seconds?
Yes.
I'm a good space. Okay, hopefully conclude. So, you know, as we're talking about shared, you know, understanding of issues, how do we do that without hatred and spite towards each other? How do we do that? Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Terry Ann Skelly. If you can please unmute.
Good afternoon, San Diego City Council. My name is Terry Ann Skelly. I'm a planning group member, a parent, and a public health educator. Brady's Children's Hospital pediatrician, Dr. Natalie Love, has spoken regarding the increase of adolescents to its emergency room in 2025 because they needed treatment of some kind for their cannabis use. She said that prior to 2020, we were only seeing a handful of adolescents a year, maybe 20 or 30. Now, it's over 600 emergency room admittees in 2025 and likely even more in 2026 based upon these current trends. I quote, "Cannabis products are far more potent today than what previous generations were exposed to," end quote. PBS interviewed Dr. Love in response to new research published in the Journal of American Medical Association regarding cannabis use with its increased risk for serious mental health conditions. The strongest associations in the study was for psychotic and bipolar disorders, where the risks was about doubled. And importantly, teens reported on their cannabis use about 1 or 2 years before their mental health diagnosis. Again, Dr. Love is quoted, "We see this public health crisis emerging in children and adolescents with early initiation of cannabis use. I think we as residents of San Diego need to ask ourselves what this early use marijuana means for the long-term well-being of our younger residents and the many who care about them, and take responsibility for reducing visibility and promotions that come with the selling of marijuana here in our city." Thank you for hearing my concerns this afternoon.
Thank you. Next is Barbara Gordon. If you can please unmute.
Good afternoon. With summer here, AAA report that the 100 deadliest days for teen driving are between Memorial Day and Labor Day, when teens are more likely to get in a car crash for reasons ranging from distractions to alcohol and drug use, especially events. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says teen drivers ages 15 to 19 were involved in crashes that killed over 2,320 people in 2024 alone. Drivers under the influence of alcohol are more likely to speed, take risks, and make poor decisions, increasing the likelihood of a crash, injury, and fatality. While the effects differ from alcohol, marijuana impairment can still significantly reduce driving performance and increase car crashes. The impact extends beyond the driver. Impaired driving can lead to severe injury, loss of life, trauma for victims and family, healthcare costs, and strain on emergency services as well as law enforcement resources. Preventing impaired driving is a public safety priority. Education, enforcement, safe transportation alternatives, and community awareness efforts can help reduce impaired driving incidents and protect everyone who uses the road. Within our community, even small improvements in prevention can save lives and reduce the devastating consequences of alcohol and marijuana-related crashes. Thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you. Next is John Stump. If you can please unmute. And the 5-minute timer did also conclude. There were 5 speakers in the queue, including Mr. Stump. No additional speakers will be taken. Please proceed.
Thank you. We got a report that the El Nino is coming. Probably very high rains, perhaps the highest rains that we've seen since 1997. The council needs to take action and get reports before the rainy season starts again that all the places that flooded in 2024 because of poor maintenance caused them a chance, or the council allowed development in the floodplain, causing concentration and movement of floodwaters from the floodplain. Community, it's your responsibility, responsibilities. So I hope that you're going to docket days and then in council on a schedule and a calendar before the rainy season, that the channels have all been maintained and the flood liabilities from 2024 have been settled and paid. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next is Robert. If you can please unmute.
Hello. So this is a public service announcement to any of the San Diego Community Power customers that are listening right now. If you'll notice, in the past month, they haven't been able to hold either of their meetings. I don't know, I think this board has representation there at this agency, and I believe that if you're not giving updates to the public, I'll go ahead and let them know what happened. So the first meeting was scheduled for June 1st, and it coincided with the election. And listed locations, it says verbatim, the meeting will be held via Teams on above date and time. Board members will attend and participate virtually in the meeting pursuant to the Brown Act. And that says that Government Code 54953. And then it goes from locations listed above. Well, one of those locations is San Diego City Hall. So was the City Hall open to the public to participate in this meeting? The Chula Vista City Hall closed at 5 o'clock, and we have a closed to the public. No one could attend the meeting. Go figure that the meeting got canceled because and then we go to the last meeting, which was the CAC Advisory Committee, and it has an alternate location. I'm just going to say in La Jolla, and I'll let everybody look at the paperwork. But when I showed up, arrival on location, there was no notice of the meeting, right? It was being taken not in consideration of the right of the public to attend these meetings, and especially if your public official is representing you on the board and he's not telling you this is happening. Why is no one being transparent? Why are they not correcting these issues that I'm coming up with month after month after month just through audits?
Your time has concluded. Madison, if you can please unmute. And again, as a reminder, the 5-minute timer has concluded. If you raised your hand, please submit comments to cityclerk@sandiego.gov and they will be distributed. Madison, please proceed.
Hello, good evening, City Council members. As a mother of 3 young children, I want to thank you for prioritizing the health and safety of San Diego's youth. California's Department of Cannabis Control recently unveiled a new artificial intelligence tool designed to help marijuana businesses identify packaging that may appeal to children. The tool flags things like cartoons, candy-like imagery, youthful characters, and packaging that imitates popular candy brands. I think this development sends an important message. State regulators clearly recognize that marijuana products are often marketed in ways that attract children. If youth appeal were not a concern, there would be no need to create an AI system specifically designed to detect it. The reality is that today's marijuana products are often sold as gummies, chocolates, candies, and sweet flavored products. Young people are exposed to the storefronts, advertisements, social media promotion, and product packaging that can normalize marijuana use and make these products appear harmless. As policymakers, I hope you will continue to evaluate city decisions through the lens of youth protection. Whether discussing marijuana storefronts, advertising, signage, or other cannabis-related policies, we should always ask a simple question: what message are we sending to children? If the state regulators are investing in artificial intelligence to keep marijuana products from appealing to kids, that should remind all of us that protecting youth must remain a top priority. Our children deserve communities where potentially harmful substances are not normalized or marketed in ways that capture their attention. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Francine Maxwell. If you can please unmute.
Sorry, Francine Maxwell, Southeastern San Diego resident. Now that we're getting through the attention of the budget, it's time to move to education of the community so that we can begin to build trust. So all throughout the budget season, we talked about there's, but again, if we educate the community, then there could be, we could get on board with. So the comments about, we want people to pay their fair share, and it's time to have an honest conversation about the revenue that has been missing. So we could go, I would hope that someone on the diocese would request that the IBA go back a couple of years. Let's start with when the trash tax was talked about, and it used to be taboo, but it wasn't, or the year that you gutted the power of the community from the planning groups. How much money did it cost then to, block off streets for the special event charges that we didn't get from the Padres, and move forward towards 2026 and the conversation about how much money is laying on the table? So let's start with all of the missing revenue that we could have had as we begin to look forward to how much revenue we could potentially get and talk about, and let's educate the community. Again, you and I both know that education is the great equalizer. The next generation of activists, they need to be educated because the baton is absolutely being handed to them. But again, they need to be educated so that they know where to look when they're reading the budget way before budget season, and they can already have their questions crafted. And so let's utilize the IBA. When you guys are on legislative break, they could be holding community meetings. Thank you for your consideration, and thank you for allowing me to speak.
Thank you. And our final speaker is Hector.
All right. Now I got a thing for education too. I'm into it. Like growing up, when the fire alarm went off in school, you go out single file line and go away from the school and sit in line. Now it's a different game. Now when there's gunshots go off, you gotta show them your hands. If you're running, you show them your hands and you take off running. If that kid who just got a gun on him, if he would have just showed his hands when he went around that corner, he wouldn't have got shot. And who knows what, you know, the cop had to choose his own life and this kid's life. It was one of those choices, man. Whoever turns the corner next time, if they have their hands showing, gunshots, show your hands. If I'm running from gunshots, I'm not running to the gunshots. The cops are, and they got a gun, man. So I've had a cop pull a gun on me when I was a victim of a home invasion. And I was the victim, and the guys got away with some of my stuff, and they got, before the cop came, guns drawn, man. He pointed at me, and I showed him my hands, man. It was like, he was trained. I hope he was trained. He was a young guy, I was like 40, but show him your hands, man. And that would be a good education, maybe young kids at 10 years old. Fire drill at school, show them your hands drill. Have them run around a corner, running from the gunfire, show them your hands. Make San Diego safer and a better place for everybody if they would show them their hands. Okay, thanks.
Thank you. That does conclude non-agenda public comment for today's meeting.
Yes, thank you. There is one item to report. Today in closed session, the City Council took the following action. The City Council voted on closed session item number 1, Gabriela Durazo versus City of San Diego et al., San Diego Superior Court case number 37-2024-000231116-CU-PO-CTL to accept a signed settlement offer in the amount of $215,000. The motion passed 7-0 with council members Foster and Whitburn absent. That concludes my report.
All right, thank you for that. We will now adjourn as the City Council to convene as a... Attorney, have anything to report out from Housing Authority closed session?
There's nothing to report.
All right, thank you. We will now adjourn as the Housing Authority to reconvene as the City Council. And with that, we will adjourn council to the regularly scheduled council meeting on Tuesday, June 16th, 2026 at 10 a.m.
All right, never a dull moment in San Diego. Oh, Joy. That's right. That's Joy. My middle name's Joy. She's so joyful. Love her. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that. I'll be back tomorrow for the Tuesday meeting, so stay tuned. It's never a dull moment in San Diego, but wins all around. It's great having progress, even though it's slow and whatever, like pulling teeth.